Just before, the
Roll call?
flag's on the wrong side.
Mr. Raccomando,
Present.
Mrs. Borelli, Mr. Cipollone,
Present.
Mrs. Mahoney,
Present.
Mr. Quinn,
Here.
Mrs. Robinson,
Here.
Mr. White,
Here.
Mr. Winnie,
Here.
Mrs. Ottarelli.
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag's on the wrong side.
That was just crazy.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. Superintendent's report.
Okay, so, good evening, everyone. Back in the media center, this feels a little different tonight, but that's okay. Just a couple of updates that I wanted to share with you is that, I think at the last meeting, I was not available at the last meeting, but Mr. Karati, I believe, introduced our new interim Director of Special Services, which is Dr. Camille Cabezas. She certainly had to hit the road running here, so we got everything's happening in special education. Nothing is being neglected. Also, I want to make you aware that at this time, the ABA preschool program over at Washington School, we're expanding into 2 classrooms. The room has been completed. The furniture that was ordered is now in place, so we should be moving within the next few days to split that group up. As far as school safety and security, I want you to know that there were meetings that took place. We had one probably 2 weeks ago with the mayor and with the police chief, myself and Mr. Karati, looking at some of the things that go on in our schools, looking at specifically where we think we can tighten some things up. And consequently, we did get more police security coming around to the schools. You know that we do have a full-time SRO officer available, and we also have Mr. Fontana, who's here as a retired police officer, who helps us out a couple of days a week as well. Now, also it's important for you to know that they do go out to the elementary schools as well, so they're not here all the time. They circulate who's there in the morning, who's there in the afternoon, and so forth. The other thing that we started to talk about is that we just feel, in light of the situations that we've had here, the tragedies that we've had here in Saddlebrook, we really need to do something, be more proactive in trying to help people, period. So consequently, I know the town itself is running something tonight, actually Tuesday and Wednesday night. And also coming up, I know there's going to be something you'll hear about coming up at the high school. I believe it's sponsored by the PTO. Also in April 16th or there and about, they're having a guest speaker come into the schools to talk to the students, staff, and then to the parents at night, particularly about suicide. I know the Ed Foundation is also putting money toward this, so we're very happy about that. And one of the first things, my first response was to reach out to the community and do a community forum, which will be March 28th, which actually will share where the help is for you, people that are having difficulties, for the students that are having difficulties. People are afraid to call the school sometimes. Be honest, some parents just don't see what's happening, don't understand what's happening, don't know where to go. So I'm going to bring in at least 2 agencies to come in and talk to us about resources available to parents, resources available to students. There's, so much that happens outside the school that we really need to use those resources. So we're trying to do everything we can. You can tell by the different types of meetings we're having. And I know it's a lot of meetings in a short period of time, but certainly I don't think this is something we can take lightly. We can't. All right? So I wanted to make sure that happens. Today we did meet again with the police chief, at least 2 other officers, our SR officer, Mr. Lawler, Mr. Karati, myself, Mr. Soroki, and talked about more ways to increase security within the school. So this is not a topic that's going away anytime soon, and we're trying to do the best we can, and hopefully it all comes to a positive outcome. I also shared a letter with parents a few weeks ago to express some of the things that we do. You have to be aware of the fact that we do have multiple drills that happen under different types of circumstances as well. So those happen, they're all recorded with the state. So, you know, we're doing everything we should be doing, but yet we want to do some more if we possibly can. And that's starting to come to fruition. We're looking at certain things. Unfortunately, I can't share those things with you because it's security and we can't advertise about security. And one other thing I wanted to make you aware of is that Wednesday is the walkout that many, I believe, are looking at a survey for Bergen County. It's close to 80% of the schools are actually doing it. And there was at least 15% that, when they did the survey, wasn't quite sure they're doing it. But anyway, we are one of the districts that's doing it. We're going to do it in an organized fashion. It's a specific time that students will go outside for 17 minutes to honor those who lost in Florida. And that'll be done that way. Also, I have requested with Mr. Lawler that we make provisions for those students who may not want to participate in that. We will have another location for them to go to, a secure location. And I think that's pretty much where we're at right now. As far as any kind of information, I do want you to know as well, it's not on here, but going back to February 23rd, the district did go through CUSAC. I can't give you the score because it hasn't been finalized yet, but I think we did very well. So, and I wouldn't say that if I wasn't sure that we did or didn't. But we won't have a full report back from the state, probably, I'm thinking May. It takes time to get the complete scores back. But we worked diligently over the past 2 years to get our curriculum in shape and everything else, and by and large, we're in pretty good shape. Not pretty good, we're in very good shape with the curriculum, what we offer to students and so forth. So I'm happy to make that announcement, and of course, when we get the official letter, I will be happy to read that to you as well. All right, so I'm going to move on with the agenda. Looking at, under education, we can look through numbers 1, 2, and 3. Actually, keep it to 1 and 2, because there's a lot of stuff within those. Any questions?
I have a question, if I could, through the chair. On 363, kids going to the Short Hills Mall, the Apple Store?
Yeah, that's actually for training on some of the apps that they use. Okay, so that's what's happening.
Too bad they couldn't come closer to home. All right.
We also have sent staff members there for training as well.
Okay.
So we've built up a good relationship there. It's a lot easier, and you know, we have one right up the road here at Garden State Plaza, but it's a lot easier to get appointments for this location. So that's what's happening.
Thank you.
Okay? Anything else?
Through the chair. Under 1, ID number 1 and ID number 4 are the same. I know one starts when the other finishes, but we've had meetings since December. Why are we just approving this now?
Let's see, that's 202. All right, so what I can tell you is that this student did need to go to another school, so that's the Hawthorne piece of it. The home instruction was extended because we didn't get him into Hawthorne as fast as we thought we could. He was on home instruction prior to this. So that's okay.
Okay.
And then, anything else? Okay. Seeing no more questions, I will move to numbers 3 through number 7. Questions? Okay. You can see that 4 through 7 is a lot of summer programs that are going to be available to the community. All right, moving on now to B, budget and facilities, budget yeah.
The committee chair just read.
Sure, yeah.
So, the Budget, Finance, Facilities Committee met, and Mr. Mahoney's going to give an update on what we discussed.
All right, we reviewed all of the agenda items and recommended them all for approval. We did discuss the calendar again, there were some questions last meeting. We discussed the security concerns on Election Day from the last meeting and how those would be addressed. The calendar was sent to all various groups in the district for approval prior to being presented to the board and ready to be voted on, so that was another concern that was brought up. We discussed the budget and started working on, we've been working through that. Crazy. We need to discuss a date to vote on the proposed budget. We talked about possibly March 27th. We were going to talk about that with members, see if it was a good day. We did discuss the security, as Mr. Rashika said, and also continue to talk about the proposed middle school and plans for moving the middle school and moving ahead with the planning for that. And that building, as proposed, would have top-of-line security, space with an auditorium and gym space to be used by the community as well. It would be grade 6 through 8, so it's a true middle school environment. And we're possibly looking at a March 2019 referendum. So, continue discussing those things.
Thank you.
Okay. Boy, it took us a lot of time to discuss that, though. All right.
Just one thing on the check numbers, I'm going to be adding in after check numbers 53398. I have to now create, lack of a better word, dummy checks for the ESIP checks. So the check numbers will be, they're in the $2.7 million on the bill list, but they don't flow with the series that's before you, on the paper there. So the check numbers are going to be, I'm adding in is 9999001 through 9999003. So they come at the end of the check register. So that'll be on Wednesday's agenda.
Okay, so we're going to look at these numbers, 1 through 5.
I actually have it changed to one of the policies.
Well, we didn't get there yet. I'm just not, what, numbers 1 through 5. It's all right. No questions? Okay. Then I will do numbers 6 through 9. Oh, sure, okay. So I know that in the last meeting, I'm looking at the calendar specifically, there was security, and issues with security on the November day next year, the election day. That's going to be a half-day school. We will have extra people in the building. We spoke to the police department about it, maybe specials or regular police officers, just for that time period when the kids are in the school. And the intent here is to have people exit from the same door they come into. So you come in and you leave. There will be no one be permitted to walk through the buildings. I understand you might want to use facilities, but you know what, stop it wherever you have to stop, or just get home quickly and let that happen. But we don't want anyone walking around the school. So hopefully that'll be a good place. And then we do have the break next year, spring break, takes place the week of Easter, before Easter. So what we did was we added the day off on the Monday after the holiday. That's what we had there. Other than that, I think it's a pretty straight-ahead calendar. It's not too much different from what we've had this year. Okay? Any other questions on the calendar? I know that had come up, as I said before. Okay?
I have a question. I don't know if this is, as far as the snow days, did we figure out if we lost any yet?
Yeah, technically, at this point, will be the Friday of spring break is a give-back day, but...
That's what, the 6th?
I don't know, yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So,
Okay.
but right now, that's the plan, okay? Okay, so that's it. We do have something listed here for approved the gun control and mental health services. Our board president, Ms. Robinson, will read that on Wednesday night.
And then we'll have copies too, right?
Available,
Copies, so people-
available for the public, so you could also see that as well. And again, I'm going back to security again, we did receive notice today about a proposal in the state of New Jersey coming out of the Florida situation, where they're looking for a bill to go through for each school to have some type of a red flashing light or something on the outside during a lockdown procedure, and also some type of alarm that goes directly to the police department. So we'll stay on top of that as well. Okay? Any other questions going through number 9? Nope. Then I will move to policy section.
I'm going to ask the policy chair to give a breakdown.
Sure. Policy Committee met last Tuesday. John Lawler met with the committee to review the smoking and uniform policy. Suggestions were made to revise the 2 policies discussed, and the committee will discuss these changes next month. Board committees were discussed, voting for board committees and advertising on school property were all discussed. The 2018-19 school calendar was discussed by Steve Quinn's request at the February Board of Education meeting. As of now, the committee is staying with the proposed calendar. All policies on the agenda are state mandated and recommended for approval by the committee.
Thank you. Justice,
Okay,
did you
I
have
do.
something?
Yeah, so
I have a change to, I think it's listed as number 1, ID number 2, under voting, it's
Voting.
B0165. The language will be revised to say, if a board member abstains, their abstention shall not be counted for or against an item, and it will not be counted as a vote at all, should be abstained.
Thank you. Okay. And then on number 2, we have the second reading of the policies that we went through last month. Any questions on those 15 items on policies? Seeing none, I will proceed. That's the Personnel Committee.
Okay. Personnel chair, please give your report.
We reviewed the agenda items. The Personnel Committee recommends these items for approval. We are implementing a paid position for teachers to monitor the side door before school in order to ensure that the only people entering the building are students and faculty. And we'll also discuss the high school coaches for the fall sports and we wish them the best of luck.
So if you want to, please look through numbers 1 through 6, if there are any questions.
1 through 6 now.
Okay. Any questions? No?
1 to 6.
Okay. Then I will move from 7 through 10, and then it, same piece. Moving forward, I will go from 11 through 17 in that section.
Through the chair, on number 11, we needed 11 teachers in 3 hours. How many kids are involved in this?
I don't know, it was at least, we had about 35 exhibits, 2 kids per exhibit at least. Yeah, there's a number. It's pretty good.
We needed
Good.
11 teachers.
Okay. That's what, you know, well, yeah, each of them also, some of them were the advisors for those particular, you know, especially, you know, we saw the STEM, people involved with the STEM, actual STEM program, but in each one of the areas, there was an adult that was overseeing the demonstrations by the students as well. Oops. Any other questions? No? Okay, I'm going to apologize. Mrs. Already, I stand corrected. I've just thought of this piece here because I was looking at the 119 date, but actually, I'm going back to the question before with the student ID for home instruction, yeah. What happened was, the home instruction started at 12/4, okay? And then went through 119. What happened is Dr. Santora left in the middle of this, okay? And Dr. Cabezas came in at the last board meeting, it was just about when she started, so it did, that one slipped for a little bit.
Okay.
Okay? That's honestly what happened.
Now, that makes sense.
Okay. I was looking at the 119, I didn't see the 12/4, but then it clicked. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I won't yell at you later.
All right? All right, that's 17 we did.
Okay,
Yep,
we're good?
good.
Okay. Are there any other committee reports?
Wait a minute.
Wait, did you miss one?
We didn't do, I thought we just went up to,
11 through 17, I think.
okay, well, I do
She has
have,
one question.
I do have a question on
That's when you
number
asked me
14.
about number 11.
Well, you interrupted.
Which
Number
one?
14.
Yep.
I don't understand why we have to pay anyone to sit there when we can just close that door and have everyone come through the front.
Okay, so we had spoken about this. In theory, it's a very good idea to have everybody come in through the main entrance, but the concern, and even speaking with the police today and the mayor, they really,
Can I interrupt you really
Yeah.
fast? Just, I don't know how much information we're
Yes,
gonna give, I just
yeah.
wanna remind that we can't talk at all about the security, and even now, more so
Okay.
than ever.
All right, so you want-
Nothing can be spoken about in public.
so just leave it.
I would wait.
Okay, that's
And
fine.
then if it's something that we can share, we can share at the next meeting.
Meeting?
but
Sure,
we're
on
not
Wednesday or
supposed to
something.
talk about it.
That's fine. Okay,
Sorry.
no problem.
I'll tell you first.
Sorry, Sylvia. Sorry again, sorry.
All right, is there any correspondence? Okay. Do we have
You're the
any?
chair, though. I have a committee report for negotiations.
I said, yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay.
Other committees?
We met with the SBA on March 1st. We exchanged ground rules and set future dates, and we'll be meeting with the custodians and maintenance soon.
Okay, thank you. All right. Negotiations.
job.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, any old business? Okay, new business, I have a couple of things. One is the calendar. So for this year,
This year's calendar.
this year's calendar right now, I know we went over one extra day of our snow days, and I know, so when I look at the calendar, I have it right here, it says that the students will attend school for a total of 181 days, and staff will attend for 184. That's minus the snow days. I know the state mandate is 180. So in the past, that 1 year with all those days, we did go back to 180. You know what I mean? We did not hold the kids to the 181. I don't know about with the teachers, but I know with the children. So I'm just saying if we could look into that and possibly not take away spring break, just take away that extra 1 day of school. You know what I mean? Because we have 181 and we only have to have 180. We always build
Yeah,
extra.
students are 180, correct. Students
Right,
180.
so-
So I think, I'm just talking from what my memory was on this one. I thought that the 20th is actually the 180th day or the 21st. We'll have to review it. And it's something too that we'll have to discuss with the association because we have to make sure we have the days and everything. Contractually, we're in a good place. Okay? But it's something we can look at. All right?
So we'll talk about that. That's one, okay. Second thing was that it's set for April 14th, the open house.
Oh, yes, we're going to be doing, yes, the preschool program, the full-day preschool program that we do over at Washington School for next year. We're taking enrollments now, a notice will be going out to everybody. But I also want you to know that there will be another open house. So if anybody's interested in attending to see what the program's about and what goes on there, we're doing a second open house, April 14th. I'm going to say right now, I believe it's 9 to 11. We have some more time, I will correct it if I'm wrong, and we're going to have more information out anyway. So April 14th from 9 to 11 will be the time for that. So if you have any children that you would like to put in the program, 3 to 4 years old, you know, some of them turn 5 while they're in there, but certainly that's where we are. So it has to be the, again, for 3 and 4-year-olds, and if any interest, we will get that information out.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Also, we do have to set a tentative date for the budget. We had said the 27th, Ray just said maybe the 26th, so if we can check that. We also we were thinking of possibly, I know there's now something on March 28th, right, for, it's just a lot going on that week, and then we're off for a week.
That's it.
We also have our new superintendent's contract is still in the county. It hasn't come back yet, so there has to be a day when we have to approve that and go through that. So we're looking at possibly putting it the same day as the budget. We don't know if it'll be time. We don't know yet. So that's just one of the days that we're looking at.
So if we're, Ray's going to look at the
You said March 26th?
So if we have,
I know we're missing one board member, but is
Okay.
everybody else good for March 26th, the Monday at, we have negotiations around 5, so probably by 7:30.
I won't be here.
You'll be here. Like 6
I
or
quit.
7:30 for a budget hearing, and hopefully we have a contract.
contract, yeah.
I'd like to go with Monday first, and if that doesn't work for everybody, then we'll go with Tuesday.
Works for me.
Yeah, we'll give it one, 7:30.
Is everybody okay? It works. Good? We'll just have to wait for Gina.
Works for me.
And then we would have, on the 27th, we would still have committee meetings? Is that what we're looking at?
No, we
We won't have that.
we don't
We
have to do
have-
anything
Oh,
on the
okay, that's fine.
27th. We have
Okay.
Slow down there, Tony.
I don't know, because I have it on my calendar already. I'm ready to do that.
Our board meeting is not till the 18th.
So it would be that week before.
So we have a week.
We have a week,
before.
yeah.
Tuesday, week.
The 10th.
So what time, just what time?
7:30 for
Oh, I gotta be at 5.
We have a 5 o'clock negotiations meeting with,
the 26th negotiation.
Just to know that.
I didn't, for which one? Okay. Just that one of the, because we didn't meet this
Yeah.
past week.
correct.
Okay, so that'll be our budget presentation.
I believe it.
And
It's not very sense. It's just my fault.
We'll send it again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, something
Is there any other new
email.
business?
Little sidebar? Sidebar? Sidebar.
So, all right, where am I?
On to your left.
Check.
We're good? Okay. So,
Something you want to bring up for us?
No, I don't know if they're discussing something to bring up and, or if they're not, so.
We're good, thank you.
We're good.
I can't see over there.
I can't see either. I can't.
That's what I say, I'm saying sidebar, sidebar to the left.
Look at Ray, I'm saying nothing in there, okay. Okay, so.
You can't see through?
Can I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I said no.
Okay, residents are requested to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. In the event it appears
sure?
the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Go ahead.
Amy Higgins, 228 Hanover Road. I just want to thank you guys for opening the school, the President's Day weekend. We are emotional. The staff has been fabulous. The kids, my son's having a really hard time. It's the lowest than brief. I just want to thank you guys because it's really been a rough couple weeks in my house. And I think I've talked to Mr. Wall more than I've talked to my husband this last 2 weeks. But I just want to say that it's very much appreciated. And like I said, the staff has just been so wonderful with the kids, especially my son. And I just feel that you guys should know what's going on.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Hey, Jennifer Means-Long, Tower Road. I just have a question. I see in the agenda you're hiring all of the football coaches, and most of you should remember last month that quite a number of us are wanting to know what's going on with the girls soccer coach, and I noticed that we have an assistant coach in there to be hired and no head coach. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on. I know she hasn't resigned. I know she's not leaving. I've spoken with her.
That's for us to be continued researching and discussing. You know, it's not a matter of resigning or not resigning right now. You know, the contract for this year is over. That's just how it is. It's not a teaching contract. It's not, you know, ordered, you know, you're not going for tenure or renewable. That's just where it is. So I'm not saying yes or no. We are in the process of still investigating that.
There's
Okay.
a lot of talk around town that someone else who works for the district's already been hired.
Okay, well,
So just so you're aware, letting you know that there's a
All right.
lot going around about
Yeah,
this.
all right.
And as far as we, as parents and former players who are very concerned and have spoken about this, it's not resolved. There's not, from all the paperwork that we've been shown, there's not valid course for this.
thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kim Fowler, 36 We're letting you know that the Southern Educational Foundation is having their fourth annual run walk at the Southern River Park. It's on April 28th, the River Fun Run. So we hope to see you all there. If you want to sign up, it's www.signup.com.
Every year, these kids in the park.
You're away, Gus, I know you. So, there's gonna be flyers and everything going on at all the schools, and we're not gonna be doing signs. Actually,
What time will that be taking place? Is it-
oh, yeah, registration will start at 7:30, and the race starts at 9, and it's over by 10:30. So you have the whole day to go to the baseball or
All right. Very cool. Thank you. Thanks.
Tracy Sullivan, 180 Maryland Drive. Unfortunately, I went to the Monday meeting last week, and I guess I missed the new Director of Special Services. She said a Wednesday meeting. Well, I just wanted to let you all know that I have left her a message on Thursday, March 1st, at 10:30 in the morning, and left my phone number and availability, and today is March 12th, and I still have not heard from her. This is in regards to not receiving my daughter's IEP progress report for January. I'm supposed to receive one November, January, April, and June. I just had her IEP meeting today, and I've had no progress report to go by to see if she is meeting the goals set in her IEP. I also wanted to let the board know that her language arts special ed class is a class of 10 students, which is a violation of the code on page 69.
Is there an 8 in the classroom?
But I believe if it's over 9,
If you have an 8 in the classroom, you're fine.
okay.
Okay? So that's,
I'm
if
not
there's,
sure
yeah,
if
that's,
there's an 8, but I know
yeah.
there's
Okay, we will look at, that's fine.
But I just
okay.
feel like March 1st.
Yeah, I don't know, she started, well, she came in that week that we introduced her, so, so I don't know where, you know, but I will double check.
Her office is the
It's the
office
same-
that
yeah,
sends those
same place,
reports.
right.
And I just feel like as a parent, it's really not my job to have to ask for it.
Okay,
Same
but
thing
just given the
happened last year.
circumstances, I'm glad you're telling us. I wish you would have called me or you just reached out again. This way I could have tried to intervene on your behalf, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Motion.
I have a motion to close the meeting to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
There's nothing we're voting on, right?
Okay,
moment, I also recognize the board going to close session.
So moved. Aye.
To recess and close executive session to discuss personnel, HIV investigation, contract negotiations, and matters covered by the attorney-client privilege for any litigation or the